Hey, everybody, we're live, and boy, do we have a great show in store for you. One of your favorite guests is back with us here exclusively on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. She was with us as a special guest. Then she joined us back in September for our epic JMS birthday party celebration. She's an amazing talent, an extraordinary award-winning singer-songwriter, violinist, fiddler, as well as musician, because she's a multi-instrumentalist. I know we always talk about the violin, the fiddle work, but she's a multi-instrumentalist, guitarist, and so much more. She's in the process of a big move right now into a house. She's there in Nashville, Tennessee. She's incredible. We love her. She's a lovety for sure, a JMS lovety. And every time she's been on the show, we've always had an awesome time. She's going to play live music for us. We're going to catch up on our lives. We're going to catch up with all of you, our exclusive, fabulous, best audience out there for any show is the JMS Lovity audience. And if you don't know what that is, well, that's those faithful who watch all the time through thick and thin, guests, Lovity specials, holiday specials, all the cool things that we do for all of you. And we're at 650 episodes nonstop, almost 7 days a week, which is absolutely incredible. Of course, as far as the guest, I'm talking about the one and only Lacie Carpenter is here. You guys who have been with us for a while, you absolutely love her. I do too. And for anybody that's watching for the first time, she's extraordinary. Again, an award-winning musician, singer, songwriter, violinist, author, multi-instrumentalist, and so much more. We're so excited to have her here. We welcome, of course, our JMS Lovity squad. That's those that are watching from literally around the world. We appreciate that. Thanks for all the comments, the tweets, the Instagram posts, sharing the links on your social media. You know, often imitated, never duplicated is what it's all about. There's nothing like what we do here because our conversations are warm. Our conversations are poignant. We have lots of fun and levity, nothing stiff here. We just have a good time with all of you, and that's what we love to do. And the guests that we have are extraordinary. But we really, really love our audience deeply. You guys are truly, truly the best. If you have not joined us in terms of subscribing to the YouTube channel, we would love if you do that. Easy to do. Just click that red button, subscribe, and then you're in. The channel is the channel you're watching right now, Jim Masters TV. Subscribe to that. You'll be counted in as one of our lovities, which we think is fantastic. Also, you'll get, if you click the notification bell, you'll get instant updates on all the episodes, special surprises, and other things that we're doing. So make sure when you subscribe to the YouTube channel, click that red button there. It's on our YouTube channel. You can see it right there. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that way there you never miss any of the episodes, live, special. We're going to be doing some on location stuff and everything else. Also give this episode a like if you love it. And also leave a comment on the YouTube channel. Drop a comment underneath this episode. Ask questions. Tell us how much you enjoy this episode or any of the episodes that you enjoy. Our Lovity squad is already doing their work. They are commenting. They're saying hello to one another. They are sharing the Lovity, which we absolutely love. So we say hello to the exclusive JMS Lovity squad, and also to anybody that's watching for the first time, whether you're watching live or you're watching this later in the archives. We welcome you to the family of viewers who have been with us for a long time, and we love it. We're coming up on our anniversary at the end of the month. It's 2 years we've been doing this show solidly, and it's absolutely incredible. So we're going to check in with some of these great comments that are coming in here. First, why don't you join me in welcoming our very, very special guest, Lacie Carpenter, to the show. You know, in addition to all those other things I mentioned, she's also a teacher. She's a great instructor, and she mentors young minds as well. She's got a new book out, and it's really cool what's happening in her life. And we're so excited. And again, she's got her violin ready to go. She's going to play live for us and so much more. Live from Nashville, Tennessee, in the middle of a big move with boxes and cardboard and lots of stuff right near her. Lacie Carpenter back on the Jim Masters Show Live. How
Woohoo!
are you?
Hello. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I loved getting that message yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, back on the Jim
Yes,
Masters Show.
absolutely. You're one of our favorites, Lacie. You've been here, as an individual guest, but you've been here for some of our celebratory episodes as
Yes.
well. We've had such a great time with you. You are in the midst of a lot of cool things that are happening since we chatted last, but also you're in the midst of a big move. You probably
Yes.
got boxes and tape and all kinds of
Everywhere.
stuff all around you.
Yeah.
So you're moving into a house.
I
Congratulations.
am. Thank you.
Yes.
It's so exciting. I've been here for almost 5 years in Nashville, and finally being able to move into a house, and it feels good.
Doesn't it? Yes, huh? So now you can settle and you have your own place and
Yeah.
and that's something you've been dreaming about for a while, huh?
Absolutely. This apartment is so small, but it's good for me. I didn't want roommates. I didn't want any of that, so it's good for me. But
Yes.
it's time to spread my wings, so to
Yes.
say. And
Absolutely. So, it's been an interesting time, and you've been with us throughout it with your various visits, which we love. We always have a good time with you. And again, for the audience tuning in, she's going to play live and all kinds of stuff. But how have you been, during the craziness of everything that we have been through? And what have you learned maybe about yourself and some of the things that you've experienced, as much as I've been busy throughout this whole,
Mhm.
health situation, very busy with my work. Now it's even busier because even more places have sort
Right.
of resurrected and opened up again, studios and on
Mhm.
location shoots and all kinds of things. But for you, how have you been and how are you getting busy again? Is, things really starting to cook for you? And how have you been during this whole process? What have you learned about Lacie?
Yeah.
And
Well,
Lace, I should say
in
Lace, right?
Lace,
Because that's your
yeah. That's my
brand name
new,
now.
like, my brand name. That's a big thing, we'll definitely go into. I guess, the one thing I realized throughout this entire, like, I guess, the health process and the COVID and what have you, is never take what you do for granted, because
Yes.
it can just, like, be taken away instantly. And but then I also was going, oh, I really, really love not just performing, but my writing,
Yes.
and understanding that I do have, some sort of gift, I guess, from God or the earth goddess or both of them or everybody, whatever you choose to believe or not to believe, um, that I'm just a vessel, and I have this way about words, and that's what's been a true blessing throughout this, is these songs that have been coming out and hitting number one, and I'm beside myself. I don't even know. I always dreamed of having a hit number one song, and then all of a sudden it happens.
Isn't that
And
incredible?
it's incredible. And I never thought it would be with my lucky song, which is probably one of the silliest, funnest, funniest, happiest songs I've ever co-written before.
It's so
And
incredible too. And by Josie, right, is the performer.
Josie,
So
yeah.
tell us about Josie. How did this collaboration and connection come about?
Well, I work with a lot of different co-writers, and one of my co-writers is Thornton Klein, and we write a lot together, books, musicals, all the things.
Yes.
And
And I
we
think
met
they're
about,
probably watching tonight too.
I
Welcome,
think
Thornton.
so, yes.
Yes.
I know he was doing some teaching in between everything today, so I know he's hopping on, hopping off, hopping on. So thank you for
We love
for
it.
hopping in.
Like the
Um,
Easter Bunny.
yeah. And we clicked about 5 years ago, and all of a sudden it just went, through the roof. We wrote My Lucky Song, which was interesting because it was my first performance back, live
Yeah.
performance back after COVID.
Mm.
And I heard my personal lucky song, which is Tiny Dancer. And that has always been my lucky song. And
Mm-hmm.
every time I hear it, something good happens. And at that day, in that one day, I heard it 3 times. Randomly, not on my radio, not on my podcast, nothing. It was like in the grocery store, in my Lyft driver's, car, like really random places.
In your sleep at night.
And yeah. And I texted my Thornton, my co-writer, and I said, I heard my song 3 times today.
Wow.
And I said, and then I went ... I knew good luck was coming my way.
Yes.
And the song was born. And fate, God, earth goddess, whatever. I don't care. It was something just needed to get out. And from that, he started writing. He sent it to me. I wrote it. We have a great connection there going back and forth. And within a day, the lyrics were done, and then the melody was written in probably 2 weeks. And now with Josie, she is a writer, a performer, everything, but she's also AI, which is something that's very new today. I know ABBA has been reinventing this idea of AI, and a few other TV shows.
AI, artificial intelligence, right?
Intelligence, yeah.
She's a real
amazing.
Yeah, right, exactly. What's really amazing? Could you say that? Right now, my nephew is in Cannes, France, at this worldwide convention of some of the most brilliant minds in the world who are on the forefront of AI, of artificial intelligence. And he's designed, and it's taken him years. He started since really he was a kid. He's one of those kids that just would go in the room and they'd have to slip the food under the door and all of that. Just really through ups and downs and everything, built this big company now at a young age, and he is in France giving major presentations because he got selected out of a very close-knit worldwide group of some of the, again, greatest minds to come to France and be a speaker about AI and about the company he developed to create platforms to help make things easier in our day-to-day lives for law enforcement, for healthcare, for the educational system, and music, and for everything, which is That's really incredible. So he's there now living it up in Cannes, having a great time. And AI in a lot of areas of our lives is becoming more and more paramount and prominent, even in music, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's even been TV shows about it. And I think it's like See My Voice. I think that TV show is called See My Voice. And they do all these different AI, I don't know, caricatures. Maybe that's not the right word for it. I don't know. But it's their voice singing, and it's just beautiful. So we wanted to do something a little bit different because our artist wants to also be a writer and an artist. So at this point, she's doing her rebranding too, and she's an incredible vocalist, an incredible songwriter as well. And she fell in love with the song. She's like I emailed you, she's coming out with another song that we wrote in May 3rd, just a couple of weeks from now, called Perfect Enough. And that's another song that just came.
And there's
my lucky song.
There's the lucky song with Josie. And we also have the song, which we'll share with the gang here, My Lucky Song. What was the inspiration for it? For those tuning in, we know you as this prolific multi-instrumentalist, this teacher, this fantastic guitarist, violinist, fiddler, now author as well. We'll talk about this book that you got involved in about really breaking down songwriting. We just had a great guest last night. I don't know if you know Sean Giovanni, who owns the Record Shop Studios in Nashville. He was just on and talking about some of the things that they do where they bring in people who break down the methodology of the creation of a song, which is really, really cool when you think about how songs and music come to life and how they're developed. They come from a myriad of different life experiences, things you go through, things you experience, sounds that you hear that you want to incorporate. It's very cool stuff. And you've been really immersed in all of this, and a songwriter too, which is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, from the time that I was, I guess, 8 or 9 years old and I saw Burt Bacharach, I yelled out at the concert, "I'm going to be you when I grow up." And then everybody moved and scattered around me like she's a weirdo. And so, and then from then on, my life sort of zigzagged, and I started violin. I did the whole classical music thing, the bluegrass thing, the Americana and the pop, and I do all these different genres.
Yes.
And then I really love writing. I love performing, like being on stage is my thing, but writing is where I can just go and hone in on and just be myself.
Yes.
And truly say, I think Willie Nelson said, it was in one of his songs called The Songwriter. It says, we write everything in code. And it's whatever somebody else is going through, whatever we're going through, whatever somebody close to us is going through, it's all in code. And even if we share a little bit of our secrets in a song, it's still a code that somebody else has to listen to and go, yeah, I'm right there with that person, with that girl, with that guy, with that singer, with that writer. And I've never heard it explained any other way, like better than that. Except for maybe John Prine, where he was like, it's awesome to be a songwriter.
Yeah.
You just rhyme a few words, sleep till 10, and I'm like, I love John Prine. And of course, Hello in There is probably one of my favorite songs that he ever wrote. And he was brilliant. I read people's lyrics and I go, I'm nothing, but then I realize I do have something. I just need to work harder at it.
You do, right? Everybody starts out and then they sort of hone their craft and they sort of perfect what it is. And then they find what their message is. They find their voice. I mean, you've absolutely mastered it, as a performer, being able to interpret others' material as well as your own, and the songwriting as well. And it just is something that as life, a lot of songwriters and performers, as life comes along, even some of the flavors and textures change as you get new enhanced experiences, and you travel to different places and you meet different people. Different wisdom and perspectives start to come into the music, which is really, really special and cool, right?
Oh, absolutely. I can tell, like, my songs that I wrote 10 years ago, how I sing them today is very different. And because my experience, my life has changed, and for the better, thank goodness.
Yes.
But then I read the audience better when I perform, and I know, and it's almost like of course I'm psychology professor, but nonetheless.
Yes. Mention that part too. You have, and you and I talked about this. I absolutely loved my psychology courses in college, and I use the application of psychology. I come at everything in life from that human condition, humanistic, empathetic, psychological viewpoint. To me, it's just to try to break things down and understand, and why did they think that and do that and say that. And I think it's fascinating when you break it down. And I think a lot of that plays so beautifully into your work as a singer, songwriter, and musician, the understanding of people and the human condition, right?
Oh, I mean, that's exactly what we do. So we have to go on that stage with one goal in mind, is to make sure the audience leaves feeling better than when they came in. And we have to read each person, even if it's a stadium full of people or 10 people or 5 people or even one person. Our goal is, or at least my goal is, to make sure that person or those people, thousands upon thousands of people, leave feeling better than when they came in. And because you never know what they're going through. They might be going to your concert after they got a horrible diagnosis, or somebody in their family died and they just need to go get out of their head. And so it's very psychological. You go, and you see it sometimes, even if the lights are right there in your eyes, and you go, that person is doing this. Are they
Mhm.
trying to look at me or are they just not liking me? You know, okay, I'm going to make you like me. That's my
Exactly.
goal, is to make you like me at this
Yeah.
point, you know. But it's so psychological. And I'm not sure. No, I don't think by September I hadn't graduated with my other master's.
Yes, yes, you have more than one master's, right?
I do,
You
in
know,
ethnomusicology.
and I have
Um,
to tell you, I'm very partial to masters myself.
yeah,
I was
true.
born I came out of the womb already
With
with
a
a master's.
master's. That's
With
where you
with
were born
I'm
perfect
surrounded
already.
by masters. There's lots of masters.
I love it.
We have the golf tournament, the college degree, you know, whenever you hear about like a major athletic tournament, they always use the
The
masters.
masters.
It's just we just arrived that way.
Exactly. How lucky are you? I guess I was born a carpenter, so
Yes.
yeah.
Now, could you imagine if your name was Karen?
Yeah, right? I'm glad that I'm alive today. Um, I mean, people ask me if I'm like related, and I'm going, well,
Yeah.
my mom, it looks exactly like Karen, so
You know,
maybe,
if
you
you dig
know.
deep enough in all of our ancestry, we're all related.
Oh,
We all
exactly.
go back, you know, there's threads of it, and maybe we've gone to different lands and different time zones and weather conditions and continents, but we're technically all
All
related, and
related.
our blood is red. And if it's not, if it's green, you're from Mars. But
Right.
you know, we really are. And I think that's sometimes people forget that we really are, you know, more alike than we are not. And music brings
Exactly.
people together. Music is
Yes.
incredibly therapeutic and entertaining, but also healing. Have you found music to be healing for you
Oh,
during your own life experiences, my friend?
absolutely. I mean, just sometimes I just need to pick up my guitar, and I don't even have to write anything or play anything pretty. Just picking up my guitar, picking up my violin, or starting, with a blank piece of paper and starting just to write something. It's very therapeutic, very healing, or just singing an old hymn, or I saw the light, or doing something, from my Texas past, or my Nashville present, or whatever. Even just getting my ukulele and singing something that some of my younger students are learning, which is they usually learn like Jason Mraz, "I'm Yours" or something. Um, Something fun to bring out the happiness, um, always is healing. And I hope that my lyrics are healing for people and my music is healing. Um, and I mean, again, it's just a goal,
Yes.
is to make sure people smile and are happy and or feel something. I think
Yes.
feeling nothing is harmful. And
Yes.
even if you're feeling numb, that's a
Hmm.
feeling.
Right.
And even with my funny songs that I write, I like to write funny murder songs. They're all funny. And it's just because I loved reading Agatha Christie growing up. I loved reading her books. And Mary Higgins Clark,
Oh, another.
she
Yeah.
died. When she
Yeah.
died, I cried. I mean, I
Yeah.
know she was 92, but
Imagine
still.
that. Yeah.
um, but I loved reading all these incredible murder mystery books, and now I kind of read or write all these funny little murder songs,
Hmm.
but it makes people laugh,
Right.
you
It
know?
does. Right. Exactly. Because there's so much going on in our world that can be very heady and very overwhelming and
Yeah,
frustrating, and you can't control it. And yet music can sort of take you away, like a good movie or a good book
right.
or a good TV show or the Jim Master Show live, as many
The
have
Jim
said,
Master Show.
take them
Yes,
away
every
from
night.
the chaos of everyday life, which I think is very cool to hear from
Yeah,
people. We have that song, which I think, again, by Josie. Again, this is your baby here.
yeah.
Um, it's a cool one. And I think everybody's got to, that having a bad day and they need something to perk themselves up.
Yes.
This is one that will definitely take a hold of you. My Lucky Song by Josie. And of course, Lacie Carpenter. Let's hear that now, and then we'll be back and chat some more. You're going to play. We got all kinds of cool stuff, special things. You wrote a book, and there's a wonderful collaboration with Thornton and with the award-winning, well-known, renowned Billy Gaines, which is really exciting. So all that and more coming up, gang. Here is my lucky song.
Oh, my lucky song, my lucky song. Whoa. Heard my song 3 times today. Knew good luck would come my way. Felt blessings in the rhythm and beat, and favor in the melody. Saw a rainbow move in my direction. The universe and I made a connection. Knew my song made it all come true. As luck would have it, I found you. Don't need a 4-leaf clover or a horseshoe over my door. I've got my lucky song, oh my lucky song. No wishing on a shooting star or a lucky good luck charm. I've got my lucky song, oh my lucky song. Oh, my lucky song, whoa. Love to hear my song 3 times too. Oh me, oh my, doubly lucky you. I've been waiting for oh so long. Never guessed I'd find you through my song. The words I sang were sweet, calmer than me. You came on the wings of destiny. Now all I want is to play and sing. See what luck my song will bring. Don't need a 4-leaf clover or a horseshoe over my door. I've got my lucky song, oh my lucky song. No wishing on a shooting star or a lucky good luck charm. I've got my lucky song, oh my lucky song. Oh, my lucky song, whoa. Saw a rainbow move in my direction. The universe and I made a connection. Knew my song made it all come true. As luck would have it, I found you. Don't need a 4-leaf clover or a horseshoe over my door. I've got my lucky song, oh my lucky song. No wishing on a shooting star or a lucky good luck charm. I've got my lucky song, oh my lucky song. Oh, my lucky song, whoa. Heard my song 3 times today. Knew good luck would come my way.
Wow. We were listening to it here at the Jim Masters show earlier today, and I'm like, wow. If you're having a bad week, a rough week, a bad day, somebody cut you off on the highway, you got to turn that on. That just takes everything away. It makes you feel like a million bucks. It's so like spirited and makes you feel, I don't know, alive, doesn't it?
Alive, it does.
Tell us about, again, the germination of that song. I mean, and that song is rising in the charts too, right? It's like,
so it went up to number 1.
Congratulations.
And on the Euro Indie charts as well as the world charts. So for 2 weeks, it was on the world and Euro charts, and now it's still in the top hot 100. The last time I checked, it was 40 something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's great.
That's really good because we're going on month 5 of it being on the charts, and that is rare that it's on the charts for 5 months. And that's huge. That is so big. And, thanks to Stephen Wrench, who is our incredible promoter. He loved the song. He actually pushed it like 2 days before we thought he was going to push it. He goes, just trust me. And he's a genius when it comes to radio and promotion.
Oh, yeah.
And he pushed it, and it was just like the right moment. And people started picking it up, radio shows and all these. I don't even know. I every time he'd
I
email
still hear it
us,
in my head. I still hear
right?
it.
It's
Do you still hear it?
danceable. I do.
One of those songs that's a real good test is the fact that you want it to, I didn't want it to end. I wanted it.
Thank you.
Maybe you'll do a looped version, like a 13-minute version, like people used
That's
to
a
do
good
Madonna,
idea.
and everybody used to have looped versions of their song. That's a song that you want to hear, like you want it extended. You almost want more. Look, our audience, our viewers watching around the world. Hey, Lovities, good to see you. Welcome, our regular Lovity family. Tried and true loyalists are here tonight with us. We see all your names. We love you all. Anybody watching for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Jim Master Show Live. We've done about 650 episodes so far. Could you believe that? 650 shows since 2020. I mean,
2020.
Some shows, like television shows, it takes like 8 years to get to 650 episodes. It's just Kathleen Walker in NYC in New York.
Awesome.
She's giving you claps and music notes. Sherry Larson is here in Kansas as always. We love Sherry. All kinds of purple hearts. And Gary says, great song, Lacie. And have Toby's here. She's loving it. Veronica Lee's watching in Australia. She's watching Australia. Toby's watching in Encino, California, and Veronica Lee says, awesome clip, lovely lyrics, gorgeous vocals, brilliant vibe, fantastic. Love coming from down under, from Australia. Jane watching in Sweden, all kinds of happy emojis, hearts, and melodies, and chords, and claps, and really, really cool stuff coming in from our lovely audience. Emoji James Brown is here. He says, very nice. Isn't that cool? Emoji James Brown. I love that.
Love it.
Yeah, that's cool. Welcome, James Brown, to the Jim Master Show Live. Give us a subscribe. Love it, love it, love it. And tell everybody about our series. He says, very nice. Good to have you with us. And isn't that it's great? Jim, I wonder how you would look in Lacie's beautiful long hair. Well, I might look like I'd be part of, well, I don't know. Pick a group.
Pick a group, yeah.
Although mine is a lot longer than the last time when we were together.
I was noticing that.
It goes down to about here, which is nice. It had to be coiffed for my television work a little bit, you know, but still it's long. And then on the weekends, I just let it do its thing. But it got down to about here. Believe it or not, during the pandemic. Just let it. What do you think? You like it?
I like it. I like it. And I was noticing you were in Boston for something with food.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That's one of the hats I wear. I do this show, of course, but I work on the radio, and then I do a travel TV series. It's on CBS stations, CW stations. We just launched in Boston. So going up and cooking with the restaurant chefs and sampling the food as the host.
Fun.
And then I do a TV news magazine show with Doug Llewellyn, who hosts the People's Court TV series.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we've been doing that for a long time. And I do daily radio shows and all. Did a radio show for years on iHeartRadio. And of course, I still have my fabulous relationship with the good folks at PBS. Hosting with them. We just hosted actually last week some segments for the new the Australian Pink Floyd tribute show concert special on PBS, which was really, really cool. So yeah, always running around. But Emoji James Brown says, beautiful Lacie. Yes,
thank you.
Really enjoying it as well. And Veronica Lee in Australia is saying, it's still playing in my mind, Jim. I get what you mean. It's going to play in my head all day. I still hear it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's danceable. They can stream it on all services, by the way. So it's
dancing through the dishes with my lucky song. So she's doing the dishes in Australia and she's dancing. Now, because I think in Australia, it's already tomorrow morning. They're ahead of us.
They are.
Jay Fitzbee is here. Hey, Jay Fitzbee. Welcome to the Jim Master Show Live. Love Lacie, such a talented young lady and friend. And this is Lacie's to be technical, it is your third time on the show. You were on as a guest. Actually 4. You know why?
4.
You were on as an individual guest. Then you came on when we had that very special episode remembering Hollywood legendary actress Sky Aubrey, who was a guest on our show, and then a couple months later she had passed away. And then, of course, your friend, the doctor, was going to be on our show the next week. Sent me the books. I have all the books autographed from him, and we did a tribute to him. So you were on that. Then you were on the birthday celebration show last September, my birthday party on the air.
That was so much fun.
And they say third time's a charm, 4 times a charm.
I think 4 times, because this one's by far but besides your birthday, your birthday was very special.
That was fun. It. We brought out all that.
Oh, she knows me.
Yes, right? Yes. The way she wrote, she knows me.
So Jonna is an incredible fiddler.
Is she?
Yeah, she was Miss Texas, and she's a classically trained violinist.
Come on the show, Jonna. You're welcome.
Yes, she would love it. And she's been my mentor since I've been 15.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's beautiful to have your mentor here watching.
Yes.
That is beautiful. Well, Jonna, you're welcome to join us as a guest anytime. You'll have a good time. We're easy breezy here at the show. And I want to show you something nice, too, from Jane. She said, that song makes me happy.
Thank you,
That's
Jane.
really the bottom line with it all, right? Making people happy and putting a smile on their face as well. Isn't that cool?
That is. That makes me happy.
It makes you happy as well.
Because I mean, that's the goal of that song,
That's
it. And like I said, I mean, it's all about this idea of luck and enjoying every day as a lucky day and having that lucky song. But you don't need a 4-leaf clover. You don't need any of that. You just need happiness and love and levity in the Jim Master Show.
You got that right, my friend. You got that right. You can't find it anywhere else. It slipped out of my mouth. We kept the E in levity, and that's what we're all about. Isn't it cool that just happened, especially during a pandemic situation? Like Love and Levity became Levity with actual Levity viewers and guests. It's really cool stuff. And then, of course, there's this, and again, she's going to play live for us, folks. If you're just joining us, we welcome you to the Jim Masters Show Live. I'm your host, Jim Masters. This is what we do, our entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. We're not just an interview show. We get into some really good entertainment, poignant conversations. You have a good time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. That's the channel you're watching right now. Show us some levity. Click the notification bell. If you're enjoying this episode, give us a like. And leave a comment for us as well if you're enjoying what you're seeing here and all the episodes you guys enjoy. And you're a subscriber. You've been watching and following along for a long time, Lacie, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I see. I'm like, and I like it. And I'm like, oh, man, I missed it. So I have to go back and watch it,
The archives, the famous JMS archives, which I'm so glad that we've been able to have that for everybody in case they do miss something, they can watch it again. Jonna says, thank you. I've learned a lot from Lacie. She's my mentor. Isn't that great?
She's gonna make me cry.
Isn't that cool? Now, if people want to get that song, is it available? We want people to, support you as well.
You can I know a lot of people don't have Spotify, but it's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on Apple Music or iTunes, what have you, Amazon,
by streaming YouTube. It helps you, the artist, and it helps everybody involved, right?
Helps everybody involved, and the producer, the writers, the artist. And I actually, believe it or not, I created that video, and on a time crunch, I did the video, and I know it's like not the world's classiest.
No, it's cool. It matches the flavor of the song. It's got an authenticity and a fun nature. I think if it was too extremely Hollywood polished, it might contrast to the warmth and joviality of the vibe of the song, which is what everybody's connecting with right now, is that warm, innocent vibe,
It did need that, like, just innocence, and where the next song that's coming out by Billy Gaines, that needed a totally different vibe. And we had a professional director and producer, Greg Wilson, and his team, came in on board and did this incredible video that will be coming out in a few days or a week or so. I'm not sure. I've only seen the first edit, and it is beautiful. And it's definitely Hollywood, very much better than me. I write music. I don't do anything with graphics.
That's a whole other thing, right? It's a whole other.
Yeah.
But look,
It is.
we have on the screen what it
Yep.
looks like. And maybe you can also take us through what that process was like. And tell us about Billy Gaines. I mean, he's legendary himself. And now you're collaborating with and working with Billy Gaines. Of course, you mentioned Thornton earlier too, which is really, really special and really, really cool. Tell us about Billy Gaines, his background, and also how you guys sort of came together in this song, There Will Come a Day. And then we'll show, since it's not really out yet, we'll show the visuals and maybe we can narrate over it and then people can check it out online later.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I woke up from a dead sleep with these words on my heart and on my mind. Ukraine was really bothering me, and just like everything everything surrounding Ukraine and all the loss and the heartache and the heaviness that was on my whole body was weighted down.
Yes.
And I wrote these lyrics at 5:30 in the morning, and no edits, nothing. Like I said, just a vessel. And when that happened, I read it over and I'm looking on my phone. I have my lyrics for the song, and I look at it and I go, no. Somebody else must have written it. And so I started looking it up. I was like, okay, somebody else wrote it. I heard it somewhere, at the grocery store, like the Muzak,
Right.
And come to find out, I wrote it. I really did write it. And I sent it to my mom, and she goes, you need to turn this into a song, not just like, she's like, do you have a melody to it? I was like, sorta. But I just wrote the words. And so I sent it to Thornton, and he said, this is brilliant. Do you mind if I co-write it with you and write the melody? I said, under one condition, you do not edit. You just do from your heart.
Oh, that's the best, right?
And he goes, okay, because he knows how to write a killer, like Burt Bacharach-esque melody. But at this point, I just wanted it more Nora Jones plus Burt Bacharach, because Nora does not edit. And she
goes, you met Burt Bacharach yet? Have you ever met him? Because I was going to say, that's 9, probably a dream. Oh, you did meet him at 9.
I did. And then I interviewed him in the book.
That's right.
And he remembered the girl who yelled out, I'm going to be you when I grow up.
He remembered that.
I would think he was lying, but he remembered. He said, that was Tyler, Texas, Cowan Center. The hotel I stayed at messed up my breakfast order. And he got on this tangent about how they messed up his breakfast order.
Oh my, so he remembered that, huh?
He remembered everything about it. And I said nothing. Where I was, nothing. And that was just an incredible interview, which is in the book called Profile of a Hit-Songwriter. And just...
What was that like when he, said that to you?
I was in shock, because I was on tour and he was someplace else. I was on tour. We were doing this like 3-way FaceTime thing. And then he was yelling at his dog. It was hilarious. He was like, excuse me, my dog is not was running away from him. And just, he is pure joy, pure love. Happiness, and this idea, like how he has gone through life as such a genius writer, and how he said, we asked him actually to write the foreword, and he said, you need to have somebody else because I'm not worthy enough to write the foreword.
Burt Bacharach said that to you?
Yes.
Wow.
to me. And we were just in
composing
shock.
legend that he is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I think he recently came out with another song, I think maybe 6 months ago. And I
Platinum,
think what,
gold,
92,
silver, you name it.
yeah.
He's done it all. He's like, the soundtrack of so many generations in our lives. Incredible. And working with Dionne Warwick and
Oh,
Carol Bayer Sager and so many other incredible people. So
yeah.
what is it about Burt Bacharach that inspires you? Was it always on in the house growing up? How were you exposed to Burt Bacharach?
Everything was playing in the house. I mean, from the Beatles to AC/DC to Bach to Beethoven to, Carole King to Carly Simon, you name it, everything was playing. And so I have these words and lyrics and sounds all in my head. And when my mom took me to the concert, I don't know what it was. I think it was just like an instant connection, because he was at the point, I remember he was playing the piano and singing What the World Needs Now is Love, Sweet Love. I believe those are the lyrics. And I screamed out. That was the
What
point.
the world needs now is love,
And
sweet love.
sweet love,
Da, da, da,
you
da, da.
know.
Yeah,
And of
another
course,
one of those.
Amy Grant did that later
Yes.
on. And I think
And
Dionne Warwick.
he always came out with lyrics, and the lyrics and the melodies both fantastic, but
Mhm.
like the soundtrack of our lives in terms of these songs, these melodies, these lyrics stand the test of time. It's so true. When he wrote that in the 60s, 70s, 60s, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. That's true today. And if
Oh,
anything, it
absolutely.
needs that more. We need more love, sweet love, and all, right?
Yeah.
So these are songs that stand the test of time, and that is real skill. And I'm sure that's another reason why you admire Burt Bacharach.
I do. I strive for longevity. I don't want to be this like easy come, easy go, one hit wonder, And now granted, there are wonderful one hit wonders out there. I love them. But I don't want to go up there and have just one hit and then I disappear. Longevity, like Dolly Parton, Alison Krauss, Burt Bacharach, Dionne Warwick, Bette Midler, Barbra Streisand. They all have longevity, and that is what I go for. Barbra Streisand is someone who, when I was 12 years old, I found out she wrote, directed, acted in, produced, not only wrote the movie like in the script, but wrote the music to Yentl. And I said, if she can do this,
She did.
I can do this. And if in that time, a woman at that point in that her career and in Hollywood can do that, I can do that today, because we're standing on their shoulders. And so that's something that I just strive for. And I know sometimes when we strive for something so big, we can burn out. But
Yes.
as Dolly Parton once said, I don't burn out, I burn up. And
I
I
like
run with
that.
and I'm going, yeah, but I'm running with the flames,
Right. They're chasing me.
They're chasing me.
That is so
And
cool. Is that
I
sort of
hope-
your mindset too, a little bit?
Absolutely. Some days I feel just like, oh, I'm so tired,
Mhm.
because I work and work and work and work, because I teach, I give tours, I do this, I play, I write, and then I'm like, I just need to exercise,
Yes.
But the goal is to have that longevity and have a song, make it as, live as long as, what the world needs now. And I hope that this Billy Gaines song, There Will Come a Day, will do that, because it's exactly what's going on today and what has been going on for generations. And if you do hear it, like you can stream it now on it's been out a week, and it has
Congratulations.
already gone up to number 34 on
Wow.
the Euro charts and 44 on the world charts, which is pretty big for 1 week.
So it's climbing.
It's climbing, and
Ooh.
it's on Spotify. Over 20,000 radio stations have picked it up in less than 4 days.
That's cool.
So
Congratulations. I know,
thanks.
it's a lot of hard work, and the song came to you guys, and Billy again, a little bit more about Billy. He's a legend too himself, huh?
Oh my gosh, he he has done, I think, 8 albums. He has won 2 Dove Awards. He's a Grammy nominated artist. And he is just, he's fun to work with. He's a blast. He's a beautiful vocalist. Nice person. We met we were both at a, it's called Love for Music City Foundation. And that's where we met. We kind of hit it off there. And when Thornton and I finished the song, they were like, who's going to sing it? I said, we were going down I said, Billy Gaines. And he called Billy and he said, yes. And we were doing a dance. I was like, yes, he said, yes.
Happy dance. A real happy dance.
Because he can take a lyric and just make magic. Yeah. And that's the beauty of, I love Josie. I love all these people, but like he just knows how to make music magic. And for him to sing my lyrics and Thornton's melody, and I will say Ted Perlman is the producer. And of course, Ted has worked with everyone. Burt Bacharach, Dionne Warwick, I think, just you name it. Ted is legendary as well. Good. And
you're there with Thornton and Billy here, right?
Yes, that was Love for Music City. Yeah.
That is awesome. What a great shot. Very happy night, huh?
That was a wonderful night. And they raised a lot of money. Oh, yeah, that's Teague Graham Brown, I believe. I'm terrible with names. Wonderful songwriter and singer. Oh, Whisper and Bill Anderson. Yes.
Isn't that cool?
One of the nicest humans. Across.
Yes. Yeah. I love this shot too. This is quintessential Lace.
Yeah, that is. I'll be back at NAMM in June in Anaheim. We are co-moderating a panel called The Perfect Storm. And and it's all about how you have like the ingredients of not just a perfect written like hits #1 song, but all the other things that have to go into it, the ingredients, just a great recipe, because you need the promoters, you need the marketing, you need the radio person, everything. And just got word that Tom Proctor will be on our panel.
Ooh.
I know. Big dog there.
Big.
That's big. Michelle Weiss-Maslin, who is just incredible. She is she is probably the #1 woman in music. I mean, there's Michelle Weiss-Maslin and Diane Warren. Those are 2 top women. If we could get Diane Warren, that would be amazing. Hey, does anybody know Diane Warren out there? I know Michael J does. He just moved to Nashville.
That's right. Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's just, I'm so grateful, that things are happening. And I'm just, this song, There Will Come a Day, is special. I don't know more what to say about it, but I hope that when someone listens to it, the first verse gets you right in the heart immediately. And then the chorus says, people will come together. I'll just read it. I wrote it so I can read it. People will want to be the change. People will break the rules so the world will rearrange. People will see through darkness. People will start being a light. People will learn to love again. Peace will come in the dark of the night. There will come a day. Oh, there will come a day. And then the second verse talks about what has been happening generationally with some ugly traditions and hate that people have been given almost all their lives and generations before them, and how that needs to stop. And of course, then it goes back into that chorus. But when Billy sings the bridge is that super pivotal moment of, if you save one soul, you can save the world. And then he just soars. I don't know, like he just soars. And it just when I first heard him sing it, I cried, because he took my words and Thornton's melody and just made it alive. So I can't thank Billy enough for taking on this project, and Ted Perlman for producing such an incredible track, and the background singers, and just I don't know. I'm talking because I have nothing else. Like, I have so much to say, but nothing at all, and so I'm rambling about it.
Total sense. It's all passion. It's all coming from the heart. It's a very deep, powerful song that sort of transcends, and there's so much of you wrapped into this song, right? It's a really big moment in your life and in your career, isn't it?
It is. I hope to see peace come from this in the world. I hope that people will hear it and go, yeah, wow, I never thought of it like that. Or, maybe I need to be kinder to my friends, or maybe I just need to help that person on the side of the street after they hear it.
Yes.
And realize that if you have a roof over your head and some food and maybe an animal or your parents or your friends, you are very blessed. And I hope people will listen to that second verse and go, you know what? Yeah, we need to change those traditions. We need to break the cycle, of hate.
Yes, we sure do, my friend. We sure do. And we talk about that a lot here on our show. Music brings it all together in many different ways, as do good people and good times, like we like to have here on the Jim Masters Show Live.
Yes.
For their inspiration. Do you have that beautiful instrument there with you that you might want to? I love what's behind you on the left. Is that like a big wrought iron musical note?
It is. It is a big wrought iron musical note. I had to move the boxes out of the way,
So that's getting ready to be moved to the house too, huh?
It is. Oh my gosh, it is full of boxes. And then I have like 30 violins, student violins. I have a keyboard. Oh my gosh, it is a wreck in here. So I'm sorry. I will say I wasn't like, I haven't like played anything, but we will rock you for a while, because I'm teaching that to my students. My students have a concert on the 28th. So we've been
fantastic.
practicing We Will Rock You. And that's what I've been focused on.
Yes, play whatever you like, my friend. It's always fantastic. Yeah.
So
tell us about that beautiful instrument you got.
Yes. So this is Stuart. Yes, I named my instruments. That way it just makes it personal. Before I moved to Nashville, which was, I guess, almost 5 years ago, I came here just to look around for an apartment or what have you, and came across the Nashville Violin Shop. Actually, it's called the Violin Shop, owned by Fred Carpenter, no relation. And I played for 3 days on every single violin that he had. On the third day, he came out and said, "Why don't you try this violin?" Well, I fell in love and said, "This is my soul violin." Called my mom and said, "I have to have this violin." And she said, "No, you're broke." And and I was like, "Well, maybe he'll take payments." And he said he didn't.
Yeah.
And then I said, "Fred, we could be long lost cousins." And he thought about it and he said, "Okay, how about this? You give me a down payment and then we'll take monthly payments." I said, "Done."
Wow, what a nice guy, huh?
I know, so nice.
He saw potential in you. He didn't want you to be stunted in your growth. He said, "Hey,
exactly.
Let me give you a hand up here."
And then he said, "Okay, but here's the deal. You take it for a day, and if you absolutely still love it, then it's great. If you don't, I'll give you your money back, and we'll, I'll just take it back from you." Well, that night, I actually played at a place called Richard's. It was not there anymore, but Richard Tress and I songwrite together, and we go perform together at songwriters nights. Actually, on Thursday we have a show over in Goodlettsville at Stage Dior, and played it, loved it. Went back the next day to the violin shop. I go, this is it. This is for me. Long story short, I get back to Texas, and for some odd reason, my card has like been, oh gosh, somebody had like compromised my card. Okay, so I had to get a new card, blah, blah, blah. Called them and was going to do my next payment with my new card. I give him all the stuff. Fred calls me back and says, I meant to tell you that someone called and paid your violin off anonymously. Said, I love Lacie. I love her music.
Wow.
I'm going to pay it off. I've yet to figure out who it is.
Find out who that person is. You know, and sometimes that happens. That happens to people. Yeah. Carol Burnett had something like that happen. Somebody left money for her, you know, sizable amount of money so she can get from Texas to California.
Wow.
Able to live with her grandmother and sort of take things on. And I guess the agreement was that she could never say who it was. Just really believed in her and saw the potential and cared about it. And that's a beautiful thing, right? It's a rare thing, but it's an absolutely
very rare,
beautiful thing when that happens, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, every like anniversary of it, I post on Facebook thanking whoever, you know, because they might be on Facebook, you know,
donor, right?
That mysterious donor. And
could
at least they know
right
I'm
now
remembering
quietly.
them. Yeah.
Well,
because I
that
don't
donor
remember,
is definitely a lovety. That's a lovety.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's a real lovely. So you've had it for a while and you baby it. What do? Do you oil it? How do you take care of it? You know?
Well, I clean it once in a while, but I guess I do more maintenance on my bow than I do anything because I have a lot of bows. I actually, if you can tell, I need it rehaired because life and COVID, and I haven't been touring here lately, so I need to go get my bow hair redone. But the main thing that I do is I keep up with my shoulder rest. If I don't have the proper setup, you see how long my neck is? I have this long neck. And if I don't, it hurts.
But it works, I guess, huh?
And so I have to have my really long and extra tall shoulder rest. Now I like, it's called the shoulder cradle. I will tell you that this is not plugging or anything because they're not hired. They didn't hire me to plug, but this is the second one I've had in 10 years. They're incredible. And if it wasn't for the shoulder cradle, I would not be able to just easily play my violin like that. And that way it just makes everything so easy. Right. And if I didn't have that, my setup is most important. I should clean my violin more often. Right. But I don't. It's because I'm working constantly and I just don't think about it. I do have it professionally cleaned at least once a year by Fred and the violin shop. That is something that I try to do every year. Get my bow hair, I'm part of it's called like the bow. I don't know. It's a team, and you get your bow hair redone. Like you get so many bows rehaired per year for like a set fee, which is really cheap.
That's great.
Because there's so many fiddlers in Nashville.
Yes.
And they need somebody to be able to take care of their instruments. And to me, they are the best. Now there's Williams fine violins, and they're great too. But Fred, I've known him since I was 18, which it was only just a few years ago.
Good old Fred.
Good old Fred. And his whole team, there's Tyler and a few others, and they take good care of you. They'll professionally clean your violin, which makes it better. They'll also readjust all the insides and the bridge, the sound post, because sometimes you just need your sound post readjusted. I haven't had that done since COVID. Need to have that done. And because there was a slight buzz about 6 months ago on my violin, but I've since fixed it. I'm not sure. I think it was just the weather. But
see,
yeah.
and our viewers thought that you had to go to see an orthopedic doctor to get your sound post adjusted.
Yeah.
Or a chiropractor.
Yeah.
Different sound post.
Different sound post there. Yeah. But yeah, and I have if I ever need to plug in for a gig, I actually have this thing comes off, this black wrap. It comes off because this is such an old violin. It was Stuart Duncan's old violin called Old Red. And I don't want to put anything on or in my violin because it's so old. And I don't want to ruin the acoustic sound of it. Now, I love me a good electric violin. Don't get me wrong. I'm part of NS. I'm part of the Wood Vipers. I play a Viper. And like I have it right here. Oh, I got hung there. Here's my Viper. Love my 7-string fretted Viper. I have an NS 5-string. But when I have an acoustic, I want the acoustic sound. And it's easy enough to just boop, put it in, and I still have the same sound as this. That warmth and such, and you can tell it probably looks a little fatter, so to speak, than a regular violin. It just is made a little bit different in the stomach area, and you can tell it's handmade. And some of them have like a Stradivarius sound. Some of them have more of an Amati sound. This is definitely more, to me, it's an Amati sound and the body shape, but that's me. I'm not a luthier, as they would call themselves, a violin maker. I'm not, but I like the sound of this one. And the beauty of it. I love a good nasally fiddle sound, but to me, I love the warmth. You know, you can just tell by one sound,
Oh yeah,
you know, down bow.
You already you need a Kleenex already. It goes right to the heart.
Goes right to the heart.
It's like a mini cello.
Right, and I love that. So, I guess I should play something. So,
is your hair getting?
My hair is getting stuck. I tried to redo my hair because my hair was in a braid today, and I tried to redo it, and now everything's getting stuck.
I asked my friend, of course, Mairead Nesbitt, right? From
yes,
dear friend,
love her.
Interviewed her multiple times on PBS. We're great friends off air, and she's been a guest a couple of times. She's going to come back on our show too soon, but she's been a guest a couple of times here on the Jim Master Show. And I asked her, not on this show, but when we were actually doing a PBS special, filming a special together, I said, does your hair, because when she's on stage, she's got the long blonde hair too, and she's jumping around on stage playing the fiddle. When she was with Celtic Woman, and of course, in all these other great productions that she's in, does your hair ever get caught and she said, all the time it gets caught, it gets wrapped in, but there's certain, I guess when you're on stage live, there's certain techniques you learn.
Yes.
To sort of, and
you throw it,
And sometimes when she does it, she's barefoot too. Which really gives her this, I guess, this grounding maybe with the stage. Does that makes sense in a way for you?
Oh, absolutely. The frequencies and the vibrations, you can feel every single thing. I prefer playing barefoot too. Some of my shows call for it and some of my shows don't, but I love playing without shoes because then you have this freedom to run everywhere. And that's what I used to do, when I was really just playing fiddle and not singing or anything else or writing really, and running everywhere, jumping, very much like the Celtic Women, but like country, like Texas style. And like the whole, it's just, the double stops, right, but I love it. I understand why she does it. So
Veronica Lee's watching in Australia. She says your descriptive phrasing is prevalent in your conversation almost as much as in your lyrics. You're an absolute delight to listen to. And our friend Renee Katz is here, and she says, hey, Renee, in the Midlands of Flushing, Queens, New York, what a great story. There are many beautiful people in the world. Restores faith when someone has faith in you.
Absolutely.
So true, right?
So true. So true. It takes I always say this, it takes one person.
That's all it takes sometimes. Sometimes we think we have to like conquer the world and have the whole world. Just takes one kind-hearted soul who believes, who's there. How can you shine the light on you as well? And, I think I've always believed that when you shine the light on others, and I'm somebody working in television and radio and stage and film all these years where the light is always on me, but I love to reflect the light back. I like to share the light. Sometimes I even like to flip the light completely on that other person to lift them up and inspire them and put a smile on their face as well, which I think is important. So the light can be shared. There, I've worked with a few people sometimes who don't like to share the light, but well, they don't even see the light. But then there are those who like to share it and spread the joy. And you're definitely one of those, my friend.
Thank you.
Let's hear you tickle those strings there with the bow hair.
Yeah, the bow hair. Let's see. Let's do this.
All right. So cool, so beautiful, so awesome.
Thank you. And my dog started howling and I was like trying not to laugh.
Do you have something else for us while you're set up?
Sure.
What I love watching a musician's face too, because you just get so like into it. Kind of like when you see a drummer and sometimes the tongue is sticking out. I mean, they're just like they're so into what they're doing. They're just like lost in it. Do you get lost in it as well when you're performing?
Which is not good.
I mean, it is because
it's not good.
Well, it's an intensity. It's an intensity. As long as you can pull yourself back,
Exactly.
as long as you can return from it, because you can get really deep in.
I can get too deep into it sometimes and I go, but that's okay. That's the whole point of something live and beautiful.
Yes. Are you a perfectionist? Are you hard on yourself?
I used to be. I'm a recovering perfectionist.
Wow. I had a friend who said that she was too. Like she said, that's exactly what she said. A recovering perfectionist. And I was like, that's interesting. That's really cool, huh? So how were you able to sort of master that?
Oh, it's not mastered. However, I took a few courses on the Alexander technique through a lady. Oh gosh, she has so many different programs. Jennifer Rio Frankly, I'm terrible with names, sorry. But Jennifer, she is fantastic. She does all these incredible Alexander technique classes online. And I was lucky enough to be selected to be part of her 30-day practice challenge and 30-day and online, like this entire program to reshape this idea of like ease and tenseness and relaxation, and really opened me up to this idea that I don't have to be perfect, even though sometimes it really ticks me off when I'm not, but I'm better I'm going, you know what? 5 minutes of me being mad at myself beats 50 days of me being mad at myself.
Yes.
And
right. But it drives you, doesn't it? It drives you, the strength, the striving for excellence. And that's what I tell people. I don't know if we talked about it here, but I mentioned it to somebody else who said, perfectionism and things of that nature. I said, a good way to look at it, maybe to soften it for yourself, is to, instead of saying striving for perfect, you're striving for excellence.
Yes.
And suddenly when you just change the wording, it sort of lightens it a little bit. It's excellence that you're striving for. Perfection, a little tougher to sort of come across, but at least, and Veronica Lee in Australia says, guessing that she's a recovering perfectionist. Well, you're striving for excellence, Veronica Lee.
Striving for excellence.
Jim, you and your show and the Lovelies shine faith and let every show. Thank you very much, Renee Katz. Renee, of course, a terrific performer herself as well. And we love her. What else did you want to, Veronica Lee says, getting good at going with the flow of life more as I release the need to strive for perfection. Well, I tell you, the last couple of years that we've all experienced where it's been out of our control in many ways has a wonderful lesson in realizing that we can't control everything, and to sometimes just go with the flow and let it ride, and however it comes at you, work with it, deal with it, and make the most of it, and lighten up on ourselves a little bit and on each other. The world needs to lighten up on each other. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
I see that every day in the education world. And I'm going, some of these kids didn't really have a kindergarten year. And so the first graders are going, I have no idea what I should do because they didn't have kindergarten. And I'm like, just let it go for a little bit, and let's just teach them how to sing. You know what? They're going to learn more from singing a song than they are from, I don't know, sticking a book in their hand and going, here, I hope you can read it, when you didn't
memorize
have a kindergarten year.
Right. That must have been tough in the beginning, as an educator yourself, because you had to pivot. All of a sudden, buildings were closed and they weren't, there's remote stuff and all of this. And like you say, the kids are saying, where do we go? What do we do? What has happened here? And it's probably was a real adjustment for you as the facilitator of the teaching.
It was. The college was easy because everything was just it was just put on, eLearn or D2L or Blackboard. It was all just online, boom, done. It was an adjustment for, I think, the students more than for us as teachers, but teaching online music, what? Now we've done it once or twice to a student who might be out of state or something like that, or on vacation, and their parents still want them to be taking lessons. But every single day trying to teach a group lesson online, that's really unheard of. But these days now, like, there are online orchestras and symphonies and group practices, and it really has blossomed into something beautiful. It took a while for everybody to think that music was worthy enough to be online, or even just really the arts in general. And of course, dance was hard to be online. Art was difficult. But in reality, anything that you can do in the classroom, you can do online. And we had to prove ourselves. The arts and even sports, we had to prove ourselves that we are worthy enough outside the classroom, online, and in the classroom. I think we did a pretty good job, and I hope people don't call us extras anymore.
Right,
You know,
exactly. Yeah, no, you really handled it well. Kind of like the healthcare industry, sort of first responders
yes.
on so many different levels in a beautiful way. So kudos to you for all of that, that hard, working effort there in the way that you did it. You have something else you want to share, huh?
Sure, sure. I'll go with something a little slower. Let's see. It's my tried and true song, I guess.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That is really beautiful. I love the little wiggle at the very end, at the
Oh,
top of the
yeah.
violin, just the very, like, just finishing it off so delicately. Um, what happens to you when you're playing something like that? Beautifully done. Absolutely. Everything you do is beautiful, but
Oh, thank you.
that really cuts to the chase.
That one's called Bygone Days, and I heard it first by Eileen Ivers, who's oh incredible, incredible fiddler, and I actually did that song for my junior recital and my first, my bachelor's years in school, and they did not want me to do that, but you know what? I did it anyway. Um, but to me, that reminds me of every trial and every tribulation, every hill and valley and mountain that I've had to go through and climb and fall down. And, but also the people who've gone before me, um, they, they have helped me rise. And without them, I can't do anything,
Right.
And so that just, to me, that song just it's pictures, you know, um, of
Do you
everything.
are there visuals running through your mind as you are playing?
Well, I have synesthesia, so everything has a color.
Yeah, explain for the
um,
audience if they're not familiar with that. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm a synthesite, and that there's multiple synesthesia like variations, but I have one where everything I hear has a color, and so whatever, like your voice color or your the sound of a dog howling, which my dog was deciding to howl at that moment, and any note, any, like if a blender goes on, it's a color.
There's a color.
And it's a color. Sometimes it comes like E, the note E will always come with a triangle. A G for me is always going to be green, and it's like a semicircle with a full circle. And I have no idea why, but it's always been like that.
It makes sense to me, because for me, every sound has a shape. I see shapes. When I hear sounds, I can actually see the shape of it. I also humanize inanimate objects too. That's a whole other, but I do that. I mean, I can give human qualities to a chair or a lamp, and give it human, not that I'm talking to it, but I can give it human feelings and qualities. That's why it's tough sometimes to part with certain things, because you've given it human qualities. I think it lends nicely to what I do for a career. Right. That would be,
you give your, giving names to things, or as simple. And I know everybody does this. We run into our chair or our desk and we go, "Oh, I'm sorry. We have literally just personified that chair or that desk."
Apologize to the chair that you just tripped over.
Exactly.
Yeah. All our cars too. People are very, they have a name for the car and they feel very close to the car. And when you have to give the car up, trade it in, breaks down, you feel emotional about, unless it's costing you a fortune to keep it going. And maybe you're like, goodbye. You're now my ex.
Right. You're my ex.
But just in terms of, you can really, but I do that. I can take lights and I can, this microphone, I mean, I can humanize it, give it I can call it Wally. Hey, Wally, how are you? I think it's a creative thing too. I think if you're born leaning with a creative bent, there's a lot of different things that are going on simultaneously that you're very aware of and in tune with. I've had these conversations with folks that I've interviewed at high levels in my professional work on television, news, magazine shows, radio shows, who are very in tune with all this. And then I've had a couple of conversations with some friends on TV shoots, and we've had some downtime. And some of them, they're speaking at the UN and things like that. And they've talked about all of this. And some of the wording that they use collectively, which I think is fascinating, is operating. Now, I know it sounds highfalutin to say it, but there's probably, if people really deduce and maybe they take a look at themselves, maybe they are as well. I think it's a positive. Operating from a higher consciousness. You're deeply aware of color, of light, of shading, of sounds, of how all of it is, the puzzle pieces are threaded together. You feel things deeply. And those sounds and visualizations, the colors, the shapes, the sun setting, the rainbows, the river flowing, you see that where some people may just walk by it. And you see it in a musical way sometimes too. You probably hear certain things and all of a sudden that sounds like a musical instrument or a beat or a rhythm. And I'm similar in that way where I can really go about my day and hear certain sounds, see certain colors. I can see the sun, bouncing off the top spire of a skyscraper, whatever it is, and really soak it in, the sun setting, the ocean tide, and not just see it for the entertaining value of, well, that's nice. I'm really like soaking it up. And I think you're in that realm of this higher consciousness because you really feel it. And I think that adds, if anything, that ability to have the colors with the sounds. That's a cool thing. That adds to who Lacie is. That adds to what you offer the world and your talent and in your music. It's operating from what I've been told with me, and I'm sure you are operating from this feeling, higher consciousness, deeper level awareness of taste, smell, sound, color, light, all of it, feeling.
Yeah. I mean, I've had it all my life, and I sort of had to smush it because people were like, "Oh, you must be crazy." But come to find out, like there was a PBS special on synesthesia, and actually had a friend who was on that PBS special, and Tchaikovsky was known to have it. Mark O'Connor has it. Beethoven was known to have it. All these different things. It came out, and I was going, "Oh, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy."
No, it's
And
actually a gift. It's a gift to have that ability to do that, you know?
yeah,
The
and I just
magnificent of mindfulness, Veronica Lee in Australia says.
yes, that is something
Yeah.
that I had to work on. Mindfulness.
All things have
Um,
energy, all are made up of ions.
mhm,
She also wants to know, she says, "Oh, wow, do you choose to paint the colors and shapes you have come to you? I would love to collaborate with musicians
mm,
in creating artworks." Do you ever do that? Do you ever, so you work it out in probably music as well. Um, how else do you express it? I express it in my career through conversation. I'm very
mhm,
communal. I like to inspire and I like to communicate. And whether I'm doing music or I'm having a conversation or whatever it is, it's sort of this depth that I'm always aiming for. I'm always aiming to
mhm.
go a little bit deeper than the norm.
Right.
Even with this show, that's why I don't call these interviews. We don't call this an interview show.
No,
These are
it's
conversations
conversations.
because, I think you can go at levels maybe that most won't take the time to go and don't care to go to, because you can learn from it all and you can leave listening to Lacie Carpenter saying, wow, that really moved me. Watching
Mhm.
this show, maybe hopefully saying the same thing. Wow, I really got something out of that. Yeah, we had laughs, we got entertained, but I really got something out of that. That I strive for that as much as you do as well.
Yeah. I mean, I teach a lot about it in my psychology classes, but I go about it in this idea that we can merge our senses, and everybody has synesthesia if you really take the time to be mindful and have grounding ceremonies or what have you, even if you're like around a drum circle or what have you, something that's very cultural, even if it's outside of your culture, to learn about that and learn and just even sit in silence. And then what I like to do, sometimes I haven't been able to do this in a while, but I like to turn off all the lights, turn on my amplifier, and just listen to the static. And I just close my eyes, and all of a sudden all these emotions start flooding in, and all the colors. And now I'm not an artist by any means of paint or drawing. I wish I was. I try very hard. Picasso is my favorite. I was deeply
Good
moved by
choice.
his. Yeah, I was deeply moved by. I went to the Frist Art Museum here in Nashville, and when the Picasso exhibit was on, and there was just such a different energy going between his art and somebody else's art, and I couldn't feel the energy from somebody else's art, but walking into his exhibition,
Mm,
I was going, and I
powerful.
was so I went home and I started drawing for the first time.
Did you? You were
my art
inspired.
my art teacher told me, how about you just sit over there and I'll give you an A. And yeah, it was terrible. Could not draw a straight line. And all of a sudden I'm starting to draw decent things like flowers and people who play instrument like guitars, and just things were coming out of my mind, and I was going,
Cool.
I've never done this before. Now, I am not an artist. Do not say I'm an artist. But one
To
day I
each his
might
own,
be.
right?
And I did try a few times to put whatever I hear down on paper,
Yeah,
what I
right,
see.
right.
It was really hard because, and I know there are synthesites that do it and they have mastered it, but I've only recently become okay with this idea that I can see sound. And I've had it all my life. Um, but when you're told, you're not exactly sane, or oh, you're not seeing nothing, or
You're
you
making it
know
up or
you're
you're over
making it up, or
exaggerating, you're looking for
they smush it.
attention, blah, 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 blah.
Well, music school, they're like, well, that doesn't matter here. And so it becomes really hard when that
You know what it is?
piano
Because
is
they
out of
can't
tune.
define it. They don't know how to define it or apply it
Right.
themselves.
It's
That's what it
scary
is.
for them.
That you
And I
have
think
this
that,
sixth sense in a way.
well, and I think that's what made like
It's a
Mark
cool thing.
O'Connor's life a little hard, because
Sure.
he has it so severely. And I got to talking to him a few years about it, and he goes, I've never talked about it to anybody but you. And that, I think that
How did
connected
that
us.
happen? Did you mention you first? Did he mention first? How did you get on that conversation to be open and create that safe zone for each other to chat about it? That's a beautiful thing when that happens.
Yeah, we were at a workshop. It was actually one of his workshops. I was going and getting training in his method, and I noticed that he had a lot of color, and he utilized this idea that, say, the E string was yellow, which is my color. E was really thin, right? It was a thin line of yellow. A was red, but it was a little thicker. And it wasn't just, oh, the A string's thicker than the E string. It was literally, it's thicker for him in his mind and what he sees out here, because it's not in the mind's eye, it's actually in front of you.
Now,
And
thicker because it's more of a fuller,
a
chunkier
fuller
sound.
frequency.
See, I would see it that way too. I would see that frequency and that thicker nature in the same way. That's how I
Yeah.
would, if I hear a little ding, then to me that's a much thinner, like if I
Right.
was to put it strings out in front of me of any kind, that would be a tiny, thinner string. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, because you do have synesthesia.
I
That is
get it.
what you do, is you have a form of synesthesia of everything you hear is a shape. That is synesthesia.
Yes.
And if you didn't know, you do now.
Yes, it's fantastic. I love it. Yes, certain
Yeah,
shapes remind me of people too. I could see
exactly.
shapes of things,
Mhm.
my sister is very similar with that. We'll talk
Wow.
about, sometimes there'll be a funny shape of a light post or some wacky shape
Mhm.
we see in a department store or whatever, and it'll remind us of a person.
Mhm.
And only she and I get that. We'll have other family and friends around and like, what the heck are the two of you choking with laughter about? We'll hear a certain sound that's sort of, if it's a quirky sound, boom, 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 like a musical sound.
Right.
And the sound will remind us of a person. The
Mhm.
actual instrumental sound will remind us, will identify a person with the sound of that
Mhm.
instrument. Same thing with certain shapes. Certain shapes of things will remind us of a person.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool, and I think it's fascinating. My sister, duplicate in that way. We'll sometimes we'll be laughing to the point of no return and laughing at a dinner table, and everybody's like, her husband, they're like, guys, what's going on? You guys are, when you're together, you're always like laughing because you heard some sort of a bing in a song, in a sound, or you saw the shape of something. And she'll say, well, look at the shape of that light. Look at that. Isn't that, yeah, it's a light. It goes on, it's off. It doesn't matter. I think it's cool. I think it's funny. But
Yeah.
it's interesting because you take that and you can apply that
Mhm.
to certain aspects of your life, as you've been able to do in a beautiful way. I think it's a gift what you have.
Oh, thank you. I'm
You might
recently
not have heard
finding,
that in the beginning. Yeah, they
I
might not
didn't
have
be here,
told you that, but it
but
really is. And everybody's unique.
mhm,
Everybody has these gifts and these things they bring to the table. And it's very,
absolutely.
very important. So you're coming around to understanding, appreciating it, and using it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I always was, when I would be performing or we would be rehearsing, I'm going, mm-mm, mm-mm, not the right color, not the right color. And they'd never understand what I was saying. I'm like, you don't understand. Everybody is playing an E, but none of us are in tune with each other. So the colors are off. And so, I mean, they just laugh at me. But at this point, I'm going, the color is wrong. um, and then I do have, specific colors or specific people or personalities, like gray. Gray scares me.
Mhm.
Hot pink and gray go together, and I don't like that.
Yeah, a lot of people,
Purples,
they wear hot pink and gray. Yes.
yeah, and they're like the voice of a gray, like that frequency, it just it doesn't warm me. It kind of makes me have like shivers. They're not kind people. Hot pink usually goes right with those grays because they're like, they need that that sort of the gray personality to balance them.
The counterbalance.
Exactly.
Yes.
But greens are really well rooted and grounded. Purple.
My favorite color. Green is my favorite color.
Green is your favorite color.
It's always been, yeah.
I will tell you that your voice is indigo.
That's a beautiful color.
So here's purple, here's up to indigo. So to me, that's up there. That doesn't mean that you're not grounded. It just means you're closer up to the sky and to the heavens. But purples and indigos and greens are definitely the people that you want to hang around with. And so I like to try to make sure I'm around those colors of people's. Bright orange is always really good unless it's like jagged. But you are indigo. I love that. There's only been a few people indigo in my life that I've met.
And I'm a Libra too, with Virgo rising. So I'm balance and harmony.
Yes.
Justice. And
look at that.
Yeah. Prophetic. And the Virgo, the Libra is the creative, charismatic, creative auras. And the Virgo rising, I've been told, is like some sense of order, some sense of things in its place, or at least to try to keep things orderly. And the Libra is expressive and conversational and loves color, but really strives for balance. No extremes. I just can't think of anything that I've ever signed that has made me extreme about anything. I'm always looking for ways to not be extreme. Present, passionate, enthusiastic, absolutely. But extreme, no, because I always have the ability or desire to want to see all sides and appreciate all sides and appreciate all viewpoints. Might not always agree. That might not be my bag, my take, my vibe, my style, but I'll still want everybody to come to the table. It's really cool because I said this to somebody recently. We're having this conversation. I said, I think I've always played the middle as I was a kid. And that worked in my favor in certain ways. And I wasn't even conscious of doing that. Playing the middle, meaning the middle of the class, the middle of the bus. So I always got along with all the factions of the different peer groups. I got along with all of them. I never had any problems in school, never had any issues with anybody because I would listen to what they had to say and I'd appreciate it. And I just was very conscious of that early as a kid. And then as time went on, I noticed even in my career and with relationships with friends and colleagues, I'm always sort of in the middle. I'll listen to this side, I'll listen to that side, and then I'll make my assessment from there, or I'll look to find ways to bring us all together. We're not all going to get everything we want, but if we can at least upright the ship and balance it out, then we can move forward. But if we're like this, we're not going to get anywhere. And I think I was always conscious of that when I was a kid. And I think it lends, kind of like what we were talking about with you, I think it lends so effortlessly and automatically and beautifully to the work I do as a communicator, as a creator, as a broadcaster, as somebody who's speaking a lot. It just comes naturally for me to want to bring us in together with equal footing. Even if we're not all of us are equal when we start, somehow we leave feeling equalized and fair and like we're accepted and welcomed. And I just have always have done that, I think, unconsciously when I was a kid, subconsciously, whatever, and still do that today.
That's good. I was just an orchestra, so I don't or as they lovingly called us, dorchestra, but
is that what this is?
Okay. No, it was dorchestra, but you know what? It works, and we're still thriving. Still playing the violin and still going. I mean, I guess I was the quiet kid. I read a lot, read and read, and I still do today. And I love audibles. I love to read pretty much any type of book. I mean, I'm reading right now. Actually, it's an interesting book. It's called Alien in the Mirror. And it's an interesting book if you are willing to have an open mind about all these different possibilities in the world, but it's an investigative report on all these different theories and breaking down cultures and breaking down religions and religious books and how people viewed it back in the day and all the way down to today. And it's no one's opinion, but it's like an investigation. But that's an interesting book. I can't put it down. I'm almost done. And then I read, oh gosh, one of my favorite books is On Writing by Stephen King. And basically it's half of how to write and half of his memoirs. And it's only like this thick.
Yeah.
But I encourage you to read it. I encourage anybody to read it, but then get the Audible because he is reading it.
Yes.
And
yeah, that's the best when you have the author actually reading and delivering the words and the lines like audiobook narration. I've done some of that as well. But when you have the author reading their words that they wrote with the intonation and articulation and inflection that they want to deliver, there's nothing better. That leads me to the fact that you are an author.
I am.
Now, which is terrific. Tell us about that and songwriting and so much more and how that plays together. And congratulations, Ms. Author.
Oh, thank you. So the book that came out is called Profile of a Hit Songwriter, also co-written by Thornton Klein. But what we did was literally put together an interview, all these interviews of incredible songwriters, producers, and everything. Women, men, and from LA, New York, Nashville, and of course a few from other places, but they worked primarily either in one of those three places. I think we had a few from London as well. And we asked them the same questions. Every single person, we asked the same questions. And we also did have a psychotherapist on board as well. And we wanted everybody's views on these specific questions. We wanted to know what created a hit songwriter. And if you read the book, you will come to find out what really creates a hit songwriter, but really, and most importantly, what creates a good person who is a hit songwriter. And every person from across the world said pretty much the same types of things. Like I said, you can get it on pretty much everywhere. Like it's published by Hal Leonard, which is one of the biggest publishers of music, in general, but music, sheet music, music books in the world. They published it.
There it is.
There it is.
We're quick, huh?
Yeah, you are quick. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I didn't even send that to you. It's a good read, even if you're going, why do I want to be a hit songwriter? Why do I want to be a songwriter? You don't even need to be a songwriter to read this book. You can strive to be the world's best underwater basket weaver. It doesn't matter. The same type of personalities that make a hit songwriter make a strong business person or a strong interviewer or a strong conversationalist, strong radio personality, strong lamp maker, whatever.
Athlete.
Athlete. Absolutely. I forget about those people. They're brilliant. I'm not a very good sportsy person, but they are brilliant. They have a gift and I wish I had it, but I don't. But those personalities are right there and you'll see it. And we have a lot of people like Michelle Weiss-Maslin. She's part of it. She's incredible. She loves to give advice and mentor people. And Michael Garvin, who's over in Louisiana right now, but he is hitting it big. Of course, he had so many Mariah Carey hits. Michael J., of course, he's had so many big hits. Ted Perlman, you name it. Those people are in there. And we have pop to Christian to rap to rock, all the genre, country, of course, bluegrass, Becky Buller representing bluegrass and fiddler. All the genres. are in that, because we really wanted to make sure no genre was left out.
Right.
And so,
What was it like? How long did it take to put this together, to compile all of this and turn it into an actual book with you and Thornton?
It was about a year and a half, because Burt Bacharach was our last one. And we kept pushing our deadline because we needed Burt Bacharach, and he said yes, but he was on tour. And he just, we needed to have him. If we didn't have him, I don't feel like the book would have sold as much as it, you know, it did. And it is right now. But that took the longest because of getting Burt. Not gonna lie, it took forever. But then we had to get everybody's signatures and all the paperwork, and we have to keep that for 7 years. So we have to keep all of the contracts, all of that, because then if somebody looks at it and goes, I didn't say that. Oh, yes, you did. Here it is, you know. And another key player in that is Jan Buckingham, who wrote so many songs, but she wrote that song, Queen of Denial.
Yes.
Queen of Denial, you know, and love her. She is fantastic. Been able to write a few songs with her. She's in there, and her life story, her memoirs are coming out pretty soon. And wow, what a life she's lived. And we can learn from these people right there in that book for anything and everything. Because it does take a personality to be a songwriter.
It really does. It really does. Absolutely. Do you see another book in the offing now that you've got the one, you know, under your belt? Do you see another? Did the writing bug bite you?
I have been writing since I was 8. I have so many books that have been unpublished. I have books that I have not finished.
Any movie scripts?
Oh, yes, of course. When I was 9 years old, I was slightly obsessed with, or passionate, I should say, with like the 1920s to the 1940s and that whole era of old Hollywood and the mob and the gangsters. And so I wrote
and all of
the glamour of it all. But this idea, it's just, I wrote a whole script on it. And I need to bring it out, because it's probably, I'm not gonna lie, I think that's probably my best writing, and I need to find it. Because I was so open. When you're 9, you are so open.
To be open and uninhibited, right?
Exactly.
Is it in any of those boxes you're packing, maybe?
Yes, it is. It is. I think it's on a truck somewhere. It's on a truck somewhere. I have Lacie's writing in boxes. And then so many scripts. I really, really, really wanted to be a script writer when I was a kid. And I found out that that's probably not going to happen early in life. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just write books. And so I started writing books, and I have books upon books and upon books, and just novels, you know, what my mom would give me or people would give me for birthdays and Christmas. And I have so much writing. And now I have been in the process of transferring them onto the computer. So
that's a process that takes time, but it's worth it for preservation, right?
It is. And I have so many good ideas that I'm going, is that a good idea? Or no, this is a better idea. No, you know, and then I'll take from one book and move it over to another book. And
it's kind of like a process, right?
Yeah. So I'm hoping these newer things that I've been really focused on in the last few years, I get them done. Because what happens is I sit at my computer, I plan to write, nothing happens. And then I go to sleep and everything happens.
Your mind is more at ease. You're not thinking about the day, about the craziness, about I've got to do it, I've got to do it, I've got to do it. Were you somebody who was, you know, good in school, but yet when it came to taking a test, some people, once they're forced and there's a test and you got to, and everybody be quiet and circle A, B, or C or all of that, they could be brilliant, but when it comes to taking a test,
terrible, horrible test
was that you?
taker.
Not the tests. Yeah.
I could not take a test. Now give me an essay test. I'm all over it. But ABCs, 1, 2, 3. Don't give me those timed math tests. Failed every one of them. But I realized it was my anxiety.
Sure.
And when somebody told me it was Dr. Stone, I'll never forget her. She was my 9th grade algebra teacher. I wanted to say professor, but teacher. She said, it's just your fear talking. It's not that you're not good at math. It's that you have anxiety of not doing it right and doing it quick enough. So she sat me down like on the floor, and we did like math on the floor. And she taught me how to not have anxiety when it comes to math. And then all of a sudden I was making straight A's.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. And it's
That's
like
cool.
I said, it takes one person. Now, history, I love it. I mean, that's the reason why I have a master's in ethnomusicology. It's a history of cultural music,
History, right.
But math, woo! I can count to 16 and I'm like, yeah, that's what I can do with my music. No, but she taught me how to do everything. And a few other people would just sit me down. My thing is sit me down. I got to get grounded and say, this is so easy. Let me show you all these easy ways, and boom,
because music has so many mathematical elements to it as well.
It does, but nobody ever told me that until later on when I had Dr. Isidor Saslav, one of my other mentors, who just, incredible. He would yell in Hebrew. But of course he was an older gentleman, and he was from the Jerusalem area, and he just, whatever he would, if he'd get a little angry. Yeah. When he would get a little angry, he would yell in Hebrew, but that's okay. He was just such a phenomenal person and violinist and mentor. But he would go, okay, if you think about it this way, as far as breaking it down in numbers and then chords and this, then you know what you're doing. Now you can throw it all out and do what you need to do musically. He taught me all about the math and music. And without him, I couldn't break the rules. So I'm so thankful, because if you don't know, if somebody doesn't break it down for you, then you're never going to know.
You're never going to know. Right.
And
that's what you're doing with your students too. You break it down for them, right? So they can get it.
I try so
hard. What are
the
ages? What's the age groups you work with?
I work with pre-K to 8th grade music.
Wow.
And then college, I have anywhere from 15-year-olds to 63 in my college classes.
Well, that's very cool.
Yeah. And so I try to break things down, and even in my psychology classes, let's put it in layman's terms. Let's put it in everyday languages, because people are like, I don't understand this word. Like just breaking down the DSM, which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual, that big old book of illnesses,
Oh, I had that. It was a big red book by the AMA. Yep. An uncle of mine was ill, not a blood relative, but an uncle, an actual uncle. And watching his process, I ran out and got that book. This is years ago. And my mother would be like, will you throw that darn thing out? Because if you read that, what you don't have what Uncle so-and-so has. Mm-hmm. He has, he had cancer. You don't have any of that. You're healthy as an ox. You're fine. No. But if you read that book, that American Medical Association big red book that has everything known to man and womankind you could possibly have, if you blink a certain way, that might
you're
be
going to have everything.
Part of a stroke or cancer or something. So I went through that 10-minute period where I was looking through it and I'm like, I thought I was enhancing things and being aware and being preventative. Instead, you start thinking you've got everything in that book.
Everything.
So that book
Yes.
eventually went out.
Yeah. I don't make my students buy it because I'm like, yeah, do not buy the book, because then
You'll have everything.
You will have everything, and you will start diagnosing all your friends and all your family members, and that's not good. This is Psych 101, you know. And it just I'm like, no, you're going to diagnose somebody else. You know, I teach them to diagnose, because if you don't start learning how to do that in Psych 101, basically, or psychology of adjustment, which is what I also teach, they're never going to know. If they really do want to be a psychologist or psychiatrist, this is their bare bones course to looking in that DSM and going, oh, a character from Harry Potter might have narcissistic personality disorder. Okay. Go look in that book. Okay. Oh, he does not meet the criterion 1, 2, and 3. Therefore, I am wrong with my diagnosis, right? So this really helps them see that they're wrong and they can also be right. And it gives them, I guess, maybe a peace in knowing that they can be wrong as a scientist, because they need to learn to cope with not being right all the time.
Yeah, especially kids, right? They,
you know,
always feel that they're right all the time, and other kids are wrong, the parents are wrong, everybody's wrong except
everybody's wrong but them. And then, but yeah, my little kids are having a concert on the 28th, and we're doing sort of a Beatles-esque performance, and it's called the theme is called Unity, because we need a little love and levity and levity and unity in this world. And these kids are singing Let It Be. And
how cool is that, huh?
Yeah, they're singing, actually it's called I Have a Voice by Frank Wildhorn. It's the Broadway Kids Against Bullying is where it's an incredible piece. They're opening with that song. And then of course I love it. The little ones, the pre-K are singing, I'm happy being me. And yeah, they need that, you know. And then the kindergartners are singing, I am a promise, I'm possibility, you know, because they need to know that they need to be happy being themselves. They have so many possibilities. They're just starting off in life.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So they're like sponges. They're absorbing everything that they hear and they see, and also how the adults treat each other. They see that and think
they see that
how maybe they're supposed to act, and not necessarily the case.
Right. And I mean, you know, in this one particular school, you know, some of those kids have gone through some really hard times in so little time. And plus they lived through or been living through COVID, and they don't know anything other than that. And it's really difficult to get them. And it's like, no, but singing is helpful for that.
Yes.
It's healing for that. And once they start singing, they go, and they're smiling again. I'm like, that's all that you know, because music teaches you math. And we start breaking that down. Now I can break that down because I had a teacher who did that. And it teaches you rhythm and beat but so much more. I mean, you can break it down to the bare bones of music, of what music is. But in reality, just to get them to sing or to play an instrument, that's great, you know. Or to one of my first graders are learning the ukulele, and I'm like, okay, just get the C down, just get the C, you know. And they're singing, and of course this is my violin on my ukulele, which is up there, about to be packed away. And they're singing I'm Yours by Jason Mraz, and they're just doing the C chord, and I'll do the rest of it. But just for them to do the C chord, that's very powerful for them, because they're on different levels, so many different levels in the first and second grade. because they were those quote unquote, the COVID kids, that some of them didn't even have kindergarten. And so their fine motor skills need so much more work. And for some of them, just putting their finger down to play that C chord and them strumming it, that's a huge deal for them. And it's, you know, it's not about me, it's about them. And if they can do that, they get so excited. And that's what I want them to think. Music is fun. Music is exciting. I can sing anywhere I go. I can play the ukulele anywhere I go, or play the violin. I have 3rd and 4th graders playing violin. They're playing "We Will Rock You," and if it's a skill, you know, teaching them a skill that can also make them happy. That's beautiful.
That's really beautiful. It's life affirming and long lasting and making such a beautiful impact, huh? On so many different levels.
I hope so. I hope that I'm making an impact. My goal is just, I hope music is making an impact. And when I'm in there teaching, it's not about me. It's
Right.
about music.
It's about music.
And I just hope that one day when they have their own kids, they go, oh yeah, I had this music teacher. She was kind of like, woohoo, but she really did make an impact. She made me love music. And
She
now
was
I
like,
want
woo.
you. Yeah, woo.
That's a good thing, Lace.
So, you know, and I want them to pass it on.
Woohoo is better than boohoo. With kids, if you're a
True.
woohoo teacher, you scored points. A boohoo teacher, not so
Boo-hoo,
much.
yeah, you don't
So
want.
you're a woohoo
Yeah.
teacher.
Yeah. Sometimes they just, like, the little ones, they just come to me crying, and I'm like, what do I do?
Well, yeah,
But in
exactly.
reality, it's not what I did. It's going, you know, their day, and then they get to me and they feel like they can just let everything go, which I want to create. And I hope that I'm creating a safe place for them to emote and make sure, like, if they feel like they need to cry, they can cry, boys and girls. And,
Yes,
you know,
right.
I just want to create a safe musical place. So,
Well, that's a beautiful thing, my friend, on so many different levels. And so you're so much, you know, we've been able to catch up on, and you
yeah.
played live for us. We had the incredible music videos and all these different elements to today's show, but we had this spectacular conversation like we always do, but I
We
think
do.
this is so automatic, I guess. Kindred spirits in many ways. Kathleen
Yes.
in New York City is saying, Lacie, so glad you could be here again. And you are lovely and so talented. And Veronica Lee says, lovely life skill legacy, Lacie Carpenter. And really cool. I tell you, she also says, Veronica Lee in Australia, the judgment felt in tests interferes with natural flow. That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sherry Larson in Kansas, one of our diehard lovedies. Thank you, Lacie, for being here with us. Beautiful music, interesting conversation. Totally enjoyed it. Best of luck in your future and enjoy your new home.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I love all these comments coming in here from everybody. Veronica Lee, tear ducts are not gender specific.
Yes. Yeah.
Very cool. Very observant. Veronica Lee. She is spot on with all of that. And really, really cool stuff. Really nice. Thanks for these comments, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
So you're having a good time and working hard, and all these beautiful things that are happening for you on many different levels: the music, the book, the teaching, the performing. It's all coming together.
It is. And, you know, thankfully I've had this time to rebrand. And you mentioned earlier, you know, it's going from Lace to Lace. Everybody calls me Lace. And one day somebody said, oh, you know, you should just go by Lace. And I went, that's brilliant. And so we started the revamp process. I've been signed by Clientele Music, which is not something that I've even really talked about, but I've been signed by Clientele Music as an artist, and my music will be a new single by Lace will be coming out soon, hopefully in the fall. And it will be, I'm not going to say different. I'm just going to say all inclusive, just sort of what clientele music wants is to put everything together: my classical music, my fiddling, my crazy lyrics, some of my crazy lyrics, my guitar work, just sort of that all-inclusive type thing. And really just have a blast with it, with some new music, and really been writing some totally different stuff
Isn't that
to
cool?
wow people with. And I love the style of, like I said, the old Hollywood, the 40s to the 60s, those really heavy basses and drums. I love that,
Mhm.
you know,
Real
very,
authentic sounds. Yeah.
yes. I love Peggy Lee,
Oh,
and
yeah. Great
that's
voice.
not,
Smooth and
oh,
sophisticated,
Peggy Lee.
cool, and her version of
Yeah.
Happy Holiday. Happy Holiday. I
Oh,
mean, she just
she just, anything she sings
it's like
turns to
butter.
just, yes,
Butter.
yes,
It's like butter.
butter.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, stuff like that that merges in with like this Alison Krauss meets Robert Plant, Peggy Lee meets Linda Eder, you know?
Who has lunch with
Um,
Burt Bacharach.
yeah, who has lunch with Burt Bacharach. Because it's really hard to pinpoint Lacie Carpenter, but if you say lace, then
It's all
it,
encompassing.
it's all encompassing. And I never really thought about it until somebody else pointed it out, and I'm thankful.
Well,
So thankful they pointed out.
what they basically did is they laced it all up.
They did. They laced it up. I love that. That's so
See?
good. Ooh, that is good.
I'm quick. I am very
You are
quick.
quick.
I use my noggin. I deeply listen. And I'm always looking for the funny line too.
Yeah, I
They
love
laced
that.
it. They laced it up. Uh,
Love that.
that's
Oh, that's perfect.
isn't that great? You can use it.
I think I might. I'll
It's
be all like Jim Masters on my album, you know?
that's right. He says, I've laced it all up. That's it.
Laced it all up.
No strings attached.
See, there you go. I
Look
love
who's
it.
with us once again, Mr. George
George
Burns.
Burns. Hi,
He's
George.
here. He says hello once again. He said you were
Hello.
amazing. He loved it
Oh.
tonight. He loved. He's checking in. He always checks in towards the latter part of the Jim Masters show live, and he loved it. And he said you knocked it out of the park, kiddo.
Aw, thank you,
Isn't that cool?
George. Love it.
Georgie, he's always here. He's a class act. He always comes in
Yeah,
towards
yep.
the end. He's down there, playing with Gilligan and the others, having a martini or something. You're amazing, my friend. This was really cool. It always flows like as if it's only 15 minutes because we go so many great directions, and we bring in the music and the entertainment. You played live. We showed videos. We brought in our viewers, which I love to do, interactive, and just a full immersive experience here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Kathleen Walker says, congrats on all your success, Lacie. Well-deserved and so talented. J. Fitzb, Jonna, says, thank you. I've learned a lot from Lacie. She's my mentor. Well, Jonna, thank you for being here. We hope you love what we're doing at the Jim Masters Show Live. Check out some of the other episodes. There are 650 of them. And some really cool people that are going to be joining us on the show. President Ronald Reagan's daughter, Patty Davis, is joining us on the show. And Lucy Arnaz, Lucille Ball's daughter, is joining us on the show. Paul Green is joining us this Thursday. He's Dr. Carson Shepard and What Calls the Heart on Hallmark Channel.
Okay.
He's going to be joining us. Michael Leonard, who played the mom in the Waltons, is joining us. A lot of cool people. Yeah.
Wow. I can't wait to tune in.
I know. Yeah. A lot of cool people. And if anybody missed anything, you can go back in the archives and check it all out. Any last words you'd like to share about our conversation, about the show, about anything, my friend Lacie?
I'm just so blessed that you asked me. I loved getting that message yesterday. I was like, yay, Jim asked me to be on his show again. Just thank you so much to all the viewers, all the people who posted such sweet comments. And I hope to be back on the show. It's always a joy and pleasure. Just thank you, Jim, for starting this show. And without, I don't know what the world would be like without Jim Masters. So I'm so thankful that you are here in this on this world, in this world. Oh my goodness. So on
On
this
the
earth.
planet, on this earth, in this world, in this
Yes.
sphere, right? On the
In
ride.
this year. Yes.
The Lovity
So
train.
thank you. Yes. Love the Lovity.
Isn't that cool? I tell you. Absolutely. I show you a couple more things from some of our emoji James Brown. I love that one. I just love that one, emoji James Brown. Incredible. Thank you very much, emoji James Brown. Spread the word about our show. You're now a Lovity. A Lovity, Lovity, Lovity. And Veronica Lee in Australia. Speaking of sharing the light, just wondering who created the gorgeous art behind you, Jim. You mean the studio, all the color, all this color of the studio? Moi. The art meaning am I pointing to the graphic, the logo? The Jim Masters, the new logos and all that, that was created by a professional illustrator who, at the time of illustrating our new logo and helping to create the new show open and close with our theme music, happened to be illustrating the next album by Aerosmith, the same illustrator. And then we wanted to bring that I think there, or you see it on the screen back here.
Right, I see it.
So we didn't want just a flat sort of just logo. I said, we want to do it for the show open. So we had that, of course, and we wanted to bring it to life. So his daughter is an animator, and she works for a lot of different people, but the project she happened to be working on when she did the animation where it pops out of the screen and all of that, she was working at that time with The Tonight Show and Jimmy Fallon on some of their graphics. And so we put it all together. So that's where that artwork comes from, Veronica Lee, and then all of the lighting and all of that. That's from my TV background, working in television professionally as I have for years. Some of that comes into play there. Sherry Larson says, absolutely beautiful for everything that's going on here. I agree, Sherry. Veronica Lee says, Lacie Carpenter, it astounds me how easy you make that look. And sensational. Kudos. Absolutely. More coming in here from the Lovity Squad. Kathleen Walker says, awesome. And claps, claps, claps from New York City. Veronica Lee is still guessing that she's a recovering perfectionist. Rini Katz says, Jim, you and your show and the Lovelies shine faith and light every show. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Really beautiful comments coming in here from everybody. Really. Let's take a look at some more. Veronica Lee says, thank you, Jim Masters, for bringing your brilliant show to us all. Love your work. Thank you, Veronica Lee in Australia. We love having you here as well. And thank you, Lacie, for sharing so openly. Very entertaining conversationalist. K Fitz B. If it fits, right?
Yeah.
Jonna says, really enjoyed it. Thank you. And you're welcome to join us as a guest as well. More Lovity, the better. Thank you, Lovity crew, for your awesome company in the comments section and all of it. Everybody, all these great comments coming in. Thanks again. You guys are the best for all these great comments. Lacie, this was awesome. This was fantastic and loved every second of it. And thanks for the music and good luck with everything, and we'll keep that porch light on for you. You're welcome back anytime, my friend.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to be back on already for my 5th time.
Isn't that amazing? The 5th time. I was thinking about the different, times you were on. It was absolutely incredible. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
And Veronica Lee, she's talking about that beautiful painting that's above. That is actually a purchase. We purchased that at a gallery, and that is the ocean, what you're looking at. She's talking about right there, just above our monitor, that there. That is the ocean, and that is a beautiful hand-painted painting of the ocean that we purchased at a gallery. So good stuff, good stuff. You be well. Say hi to Mom for me, because I know she watches, and say hi to Billy and Thornton and
Will.
everybody. Billy, and of course, welcome to come on the show as a guest. Anybody,
Yes.
spread the word as you always do. I know you're so amazing at that, my friend.
Yes, absolutely. And Billy I messaged Billy. I was like, Jim said he wanted you on your show, and I have all of his contact information to send to you as well. So he said he'd absolutely love to be on your show.
That would be awesome, my friend. You're the best. You take care. And I'm glad we had this time together. As always, I hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you.
Always, always. Thank you so much, Jim.
You are welcome. You take care and be well, my friend. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Did you eat already? I hope you ate.
Oh, I ate already.
Good.
I'm good.
So you know when you come on the show to eat first.
Yes, I do.
Sometimes our West Coast guests, it's like 7 here when we start and 4 for them. And they're like,
right.
Haven't eaten yet. And I'm like, you might want to grab a snack before we
Exactly. No, I had some vegan chicken and we're all good. So
you're all good. You got that protein in there.
My protein.
Thanks, my friend. You're the best.
Okay.
We'll see you again soon. And you be well, okay?
You
Continued
too.
success.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye now. The incredible Lacie Carpenter stops by the Jim Masters show for the 5th time. I was counting how many times. I thought it was like the 3rd. We first had her on when she was a guest herself independently. And then she was on when we celebrated the lives of 2. We had a special doctor that was going to be coming on who was a friend of Lacie's. And he actually passed away about a year ago. About 4 days before he was going to come on our show. And he sent these beautiful books, and I have those books. So we did a tribute to him. And also there was another guest, legendary Hollywood actress, Sky Aubrey, who was in a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, and so much more. And she had passed. So we did a tribute episode. Matter of fact, that tribute episode made it was promoted by the Hollywood Reporter. They actually picked up on our show and they promoted in the Hollywood Reporter that episode of the Jim Masters Show Live, which we love the Hollywood Reporter, and we thank them for that coverage and for the levity and spreading the word about that very special episode that we did. And it's archived on our YouTube channel. You can check it out. Then we had the big Jim Masters Show Live JMS Levity Special Birthday Party Bash last September. On the time of my birthday, Lacie was in a myriad of incredible guest lovetiness, because we had a lot of guests on that episode, and she was on and she played special songs. And now here she is again. And it was really, really cool. You guys are great. Jane says, great show tonight. Thanks, Lacie and Jim. Now I have a great song in my YouTube list. Yes, if you didn't hear the incredible song called My Lucky Song, sung by Josie and penned by Thornton Klein and Lacie Carpenter, check it out. And of course, we played it earlier, and it was really, really cool to hear. Very, very passionate, enthusiastic, a fun song, a real feel-good song. And Josie sang it. We should get her on the show as a guest too. I'd love to get Josie on the show. And then legendary Billy Gaines, There Will Come a Day. Again, that's another song that Lacie penned with Thornton and Billy performing. Another incredible song. She's a great spirit. And again, she's a big supporter of the Jim Masters Show Live. She's been on our show multiple times. She spreads the word. She loves being not only a guest, but also she's one of our levity viewers as much as a terrific talent. Look at this, huh? This is coming out as well, which is incredible. Good stuff, huh? I want to let you know that tomorrow, for those watching live, we've got a special early afternoon episode, so don't miss it. Tomorrow, we're on earlier. We're on at 3 in the afternoon, noon Pacific. So those of you watching overseas, you'll actually be able to catch it at an earlier hour if you want to watch it live. Tomorrow, we have award-winning author, journalist, and playwright Joel Sandberg. He penned an incredible book, really, really beautiful book. You see it on your screen there, about the life of Karen Carpenter and so much more. He's got a novel called Blowing in the Wind. He's got another book, Almost Like Praying. He's got the Jewish Book of Lists, all kinds of incredible books and works. He's a renowned journalist, author, and playwright. He's written for magazines, newspapers, and so much more. We're going to talk about Karen Carpenter. We're going to talk about a lot of different things tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. So that's an early time tomorrow. Our show is tomorrow afternoon. Check that out at an earlier time. Then on Thursday, Paul Green is with us live. My buddy Paul Green, actor, musician, singer. Hallmark Channel's Dr. Carson Shepard on When Calls the Heart. This will be his second visit, his return visit to the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Very excited about that. My buddy Paul talks about new things in his life and cool stuff. This is a Jim Masters Show exclusive. He's joining us. He and I were chatting, and he wants to pop back on the show, and we want him back, and we're so excited. He and I worked on a couple of projects. One was Carnegie Hall, which was really, really cool. On Friday, look at this. We have the stars, another exclusive, stars of the critically acclaimed hit off-Broadway's Romeo and Bernadette. Nikita Burston. Now, you may remember Nikita was a guest on our show about a year ago, and we had an epic conversation. Now he's going to be joined by Anna Kosatakis, and she is extraordinary. He plays Romeo. She's Bernadette. Yes, we've got Romeo and Bernadette. It's a funny take on Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, and it's off Broadway, New York City. Previews are starting in May, and then it actually hits the stages in May. They actually were performing, and then when the pandemic hit, everything had to stop, and everybody had to go home, and the theater closed. So now they're back on stage. They've been rehearsing. Stars of the off-Broadway critically acclaimed hit Romeo and Bernadette, Nikita and Anna will be here on Friday. That's going to be amazing. Hey, soap opera fans, did you see When the Bold and the Beautiful Rick Forrester? He played Rick Forrester. He's currently with Sean Kanan, who was a guest of ours, starring in Studio City. Justin Torkelson was with us. He was very open and very revealing in his conversation. It was really amazing. Check it out in the archives. And over 650 more episodes you can see of our series with guests from every genre: sports, comedy, music, stage, theater, food, whatever, interests you, television, child stars, musicians, actors, actresses, songwriters, performers, legends, celebrity friends, so much more from around the world. Justin was here as well. Cousins Gibb, remember? Nick Endicott Gibb was here. He is the son of Morris Gibb from the Bee Gees. That was an epic conversation. Judy Norton from the Waltons, too, was here. So was Cammie Cutler from the Waltons. So was Karen Grassley. Well, she was from Little House on the Prairie. She was with us. Allison Arngrim, who was Nellie Olson from Little House on the Prairie, was with us as well. Charlotte Stewart was with us as well from Little House on the Prairie. And the Waltons, again, Judy Norton was here. Cammie Cutler was here. Yeah, cool stuff. These are just some of the folks who've graced our presence. Stanley Livingston, as well as his brother Barry Livingston, were here. Lawrence Juber was here. Marion Ross from Happy Days. And this is just the short list of some of the amazing guests who've come in from all around the world. And Dawn is here, the singing nurse, nursing people back to health as she sings. Good to see you, Dawn. Welcome. Yes, check the archives. You can see all the episodes in the Jim Masters Show Live archives. That's what they're here for. We're building a wonderful community here, gang. We don't call this an interview show. We call this a conversation, an entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series designed for all of you with no time limit. We just let it roll. Just let it roll. All right. Thanks for being with us. All of you who have been here since the show started. You guys are amazing. Good night, all. Yes, archives for you are always there. You guys check it all out. Veronica Lee, you've been fantastic. Oh, yes, I know who you're talking about. That was, let's see. I know who you're talking about. That was Tommy. And I'll just see if we could maybe pull up a photo or something. We might be able to get a quick photo. That was a great episode, wasn't it? You're talking about that Beverly Hills handbag designer who was a guest on our show. And I just want to show, we might be able to actually, let's see if we can pull up the actual physical episode. Because we won't play the episode, of course, because you can certainly watch that in the archives. But and you can scroll back in the archives as well. That was Timmy. That's right, Timmy Woods, the fashion designer for Sex and the City, and she designed that Sex and the City handbag, which is kind of cool. That became, the one that is the like the Eiffel Tower. Let's see if we can maybe pull that up. And I know, yeah, let's see. There she is. And yeah, we actually have it. It is archived on our YouTube channel. So you can definitely check it out, my friends. Fashion designer. There it is. Remember the episode? This actually aired on Valentine's Day. Timmy Woods, the incredible fashion designer in Beverly Hills who designed that Sex and the City handbag and so much more. Yeah. Renowned Beverly Hills handbag designer. And there is actually some of that. Probably got a little sound there too. You know the town, you know the area, you know the people inside. Remember that? And out. Of course, I've been there visiting and seeing. So that was that episode and all, and we have friends that are there, and it is a beautiful area, of course. What is it about being in Beverly Hills specifically for you? So that's the episode that's the episode you're talking about. It's amazing how we quickly pulled that up for you, Veronica Lee. You do that was Valentine's Day on television and film premieres and Hollywood red carpets and so much more.
Well, I really think it's the fact that I come from an architectural family, in a sense.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And I used to travel a lot with my family.
So if you want to see that episode, you can see that and 600 more on our YouTube channel. There you go, Veronica Lee. That is the episode. Timmy Woods, the legendary Beverly Hills designer. And so cool, so cool, so cool. Jane here since the show started at 7 p.m. Eastern. You're a real trooper. We love it. You're so loyal. Good night, everyone. Jim and Lacie. What a great show. All the music tonight, the new music, the new videos, the music videos, the new songs that are rising up the charts that Lacie has written and Josie performed and Billy Gaines, the legendary Billy Gaines performed, the new book, all the cool things that Lacie shared with us tonight. She performed live. We showed the music videos, and thank you very much, and continue to watch our show. We're here every day for you as well, and we love all of you, and we really appreciate it. You guys are truly the very best. Amber, good to see you as well. Thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate you. You are the best as well. And everybody. Mary Bishop is here, and Kathleen, and you do that. Absolutely, Veronica Lee. It takes a village. We all support each other. And again, I've been doing the show for a long time, and I love doing it. Busy day for me tomorrow. I'm going to be on television shoots tomorrow. Then I've got 3 radio shows. So tomorrow, again, our show is early at 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific. A quick reminder for those watching live with our very special guest, Joel Sandberg. We're going to be talking about, he wrote this incredible book about Karen Carpenter and so much more. That's going to be tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Paul Green is with us on Thursday. And then from the off-Broadway hit, Romeo and Bernadette, my buddy Nikita's here. Anna, the stars of Romeo and Bernadette. He's Romeo, she's Bernadette. They're on Friday, and that's the short list of incredible guests we have coming up for all of you. We're working hard behind the scenes here, gang, to inspire and entertain and have a good time with all of you. We're going to duck out. Busy day tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. But again, anybody watching live, we'll see you on the next one. If you're watching in the archives, not live, we invite you to stay right there. Another great episode of the Jim Master Show Live comes right up because they're all saved and archived. We encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you enjoy what you're seeing with this series of episodes, give it some levity. Click subscribe. That means a lot to us. That helps us grow. Click the notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes. You're alerted. That's important. Make sure when you hit subscribe, click that little bell icon. That's the notification bell. You get a little notification on every episode. And also give this episode a thumbs up like. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a like. There's a little thumbs up like, and definitely drop a comment. If you have any questions, any comments, you want to share your experience of the Jim Masters Show Live, what it means to you. You want to share for us what you enjoy about our series, about specific episodes and guests. Drop a comment underneath the episode on our YouTube channel. That helps us big time, and we love that as well. So gang, thanks to everybody who's been here for this another Knock It Out of the Park episode. We absolutely love it. You guys are so great. Veronica Lee, you are very, very welcome. And it's a pleasure to have you here. So, all right, good stuff, gang. Everybody was on fire tonight. This was a great episode, as they all are, when you're here tuned in with all of us on the Jim Masters Show Live. We're going to take off. We don't say goodbye here. We say, see you later, sláinte, shalom, auf Wiedersehen, sayonara, cheers, ciao. And Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time till next time. I'll be here waiting for you in this host chair. Again, one more time, for those watching live, tomorrow our show is at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, with prolific award-winning author and journalist and playwright Joel Sandberg. It's going to be a great episode. We're going to talk about Karen Carpenter's life and so much more. Till then, we'll be back. And again, everybody that watches later in the archives, we acknowledge and welcome you too. I know we talk a lot about those folks that are watching live, who we enjoy, our lovely squad watching live. But if you're watching this later in the archives and the repeat, we love you and we acknowledge you too. And we say thank you for your viewership. Thank you for watching. Thanks for your comments, your support. We're hearing from so many amazing people around the world who are expressing how much they're enjoying what we're doing here and these episodes, and how it's, inspiring them, entertaining them, all of the above. I mean, I get some really beautiful things written to me privately, and they're being posted publicly on social media and on our YouTube channel. And I think that is so cool and kind of you to do that. So keep it up. We love it. And if you're joining us for the first time, this was your first taste of the Jim Masters Show Live, we thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you here. And we invite you to check out all of our episodes that are archived and stick with us for our daily episodes here designed for all of you. Jim Masters here saying, see you later. Thanks for being with us. Another great show. Take care. Love one another. Be good to one another. Spread the sunshine. Share the love. Tell everybody you know about our show. And we'll see you again soon. Cheers.